So what I want to do today is to talk a little bit about the Azure Fast Track for ISV program and how we can help you with that program to enable your technology on Azure and how we can support you with publication of your products into Azure Marketplace or into AppSource. And I also want to show you the first few steps that you need to take in order to get your product up and running in that marketplace. So let's first start with the Azure Fast Track for ISV program. What do we do? What is this? What is this program all about? Well, we're a program that is part of engineering, and we are really here to help out ISVs, so everyone in the audience, hopefully, to help you with making sure your application runs well on Azure. So we provide architectural guidance to make sure that the technology works best for you, right? And that your products run well on the Azure platform. And we provide best practices in order to make sure that you create the best topologies and make sure your application runs best on the Azure platform. So it's not only people like me. I'm a program manager and I orchestrate a lot of these programs. But we do have a lot of seasoned engineers within our team who help out with making sure you get those best practices to overcome any challenges that you might face in adopting Azure technology. One specific thing that we do next to that support in getting your application up and running is helping you out with publication into Marketplace and into AppSource. Basically, the publication system behind AppSource and Marketplace is similar. It's just two separate storefronts, but the process itself is very is identical. It's the same portal, the same process. What I want to do today is to guide you through that portal, so you know what to do when you want to bring your first application up and running into Marketplace or into AppSource. So therefore, I'm going to move over to this screen. And let me first start with this one. If you go to partner.microsoft.com and you don't have an account, please make sure that you become a partner here. You will get your registration, you will get an account. And if that's all sorted out, then you can log in to the thing that we call the Partner Center. And I'm not going to show you the logon process. That should be fairly straightforward. But if you get into the Partner Center, as we call it, you would initially see a very empty page here because you will probably not be enrolled in any program here. If you want to do something with Commercial Marketplace, you would need to enroll for that program. So here you can see that in this demo environment, I am already enrolled, and I'm not going to show you how that's going to work. It's pretty straightforward. So, but if you need help with that later on, you can ask your Microsoft representative to guide you in that process. But that should be fairly straightforward. Anyway, once you get enrolled into Commercial Marketplace, you would see another menu item here on the left-hand side of the screen called Commercial Marketplace. And that's where you really need to do all those things to get your solution up and running in that Commercial Marketplace. So we're going to click on Overview under the Commercial Marketplace menu item here. And here you'll see a lot of offers, and there's a lot of weird names in here. In your case, this would be empty. In my case, this is just a test environment. So never mind those weird names here. What we want to do here is to create a new offer. So we're going to click on this button called New Offer. And then since it's about the SaaS Academy, we're going to create a SaaS offer. As you can see, there are plenty of other types of offers, but in our case, we're going to go for a SaaS offer. So if I'm going to click that one, I have to give it a name. Mind you, only lowercase. So I'm just going to go with SaaS Academy here and give it a better name over here. And that's really the first step for us to create that offer that is going to be published into Marketplace. So I'm going to click Create here, and we'll see a whole series of new pages that we have to go through in order to make this happen. So and those pages are listed here. So first we're gonna see the alias, and I just gave it the name SaaS Academy. You can give it whatever name you want, which is appropriate for you. And then we have to define whether we want to sell through Microsoft or not. So we can go with a transactable offer, as Dr. Marie just pointed out in the previous session, or you can go with a non-transactable offer. In this case, we are going to go with the transactable, as we've all learned that is more beneficial for both yourself and for Microsoft as well. So we're going to leave it as is. We can enable a test drive if we want to. So a test drive is a test environment that you can offer to your customer for a few hours, which is like a pre-filled environment, like a demo environment that they can play around with, so they get the look and feel and the experience of working with your application. For now, I'm not going to do that, but if that's relevant for you, then you can definitely click this one and go ahead and try it. Then we have the customer leads section. So if a customer is clicking around on your solution and is showing buyer intent, then we want to send you a lead so you can follow up on that lead. We do have a few CRM systems connected here by default. So if you click the connect button here, we can have a few destinations here. Obviously, we have Dynamics 365, but we've got Marketo and Salesforce as well. If you don't have a CRM, no worries. We can also push those leads into an Azure table or push it to an HTTPS endpoint, so you can follow up the way you want. Right, I'm going to leave this for now. I'm just going to cancel it. Here we've got some Microsoft 365 integration. So if you have an app, if you have a SaaS offer that needs integration here, you can fill this out. For now, we're not going to do this. We're going to just leave it as is. I'm going to save the draft, and I'm going to move ahead to my next page, which is called properties. So here we need to define what category your application falls into. So I can choose a primary category, and we can, pick whatever we want here, whatever fits for you. So in my case, let's go with databases, and I'm going to pick NoSQL databases here. If your application is relevant for an industry, you can also select an industry here. So if you do a specific database for healthcare, and you've got this vertical of a pharmaceutical, for instance, you can click that here, and you could also go for a health provider. You can't select any more than 2, but you get the idea. This is how it works. If you sell to other industries, you can add those here. Here you can add the version of your app. So this is going to be the first one. So I'm just going to leave it with this. But the second point is pretty important. So this is all about the terms and conditions for your application. So you can either go with your own T's and C's if you have them. Probably you do, right? But if you can live with the standard contract that we provide, just click this button. You would have to accept it. And if you need more information, please click this link so you can see what this is all about and whether it would suit you or not. So I'm just going to accept it here. If you want to add some custom amendments to that standard contract that we provide, then you can definitely do that here. I'm going to leave this as is and save it. And I'm going to move over to the next page, which is more on the marketing side of things, so to say. This is where you fill in detailed information about your offer. So for instance, we need search results summary, we need a description, we need getting started instructions, we need search keywords, we need a link to your privacy policy, stuff that I think you probably have it somewhere, but maybe you need to consolidate it and get it here. So make sure you do this right, because in the publication process, we might get some, going back and forward with the marketplace team in order to get this right. Anyway, if you have done this, we're going to move over to the useful links, which is all about contacts. So please make sure you fill out the right contact people here, your engineering contact, your support contacts. If you're working with a cloud solution provider, so a reseller, you should provide contact details here as well for that particular CSP. And you should provide at least one supporting document. So that could be a document on for instance, getting started instructions, or you could provide a one-pager here, whatever fits your needs, but you need to at least put one document in here. Then there is going to be some marketplace media, as we call it, which is about logos. So we need a logo for your application, obviously. We need to have a screenshot as well. And you are allowed to upload 4 videos that would describe your application. So this is not required, but probably a nice to have, I would say. Good. So I'm going to move over to Preview Audience. So Preview Audience is a page that you can use to list a number of email addresses of people having subscriptions that should be able to see your offer before you go live. So typically you want to get the look and feel of your offer when it's in marketplace, but you don't want to go live straight away, right? So you want to have a number of people looking at it, and those are the people that you should fill out here. So you can add 10 people here, so just email addresses. There should be Microsoft email addresses, or Azure AD addresses, but probably you have those anyway since you got to the partner portal already. So that's that. Then we're going to go to the technical configuration. So in order to get this right, in order to get a transactable SaaS offer up and running on the marketplace, we would need to get 4 things here. First is going to be a landing page URL. Then there's going to be a connection webhook, and then we need an Active Directory tenant ID and an application ID. We don't have long enough today to talk about all these things, but as you can imagine, there is some technical integration needed, since Marketplace is going to be the place where customers are going to buy your solution. Microsoft is going to be the selling entity, right? You are going to transact through Microsoft. Once a customer buys on the marketplace, we would have to notify you that customer XYZ has bought your product. So you need to provision something for this particular customer. Once that is done, you need to tell us, you need to notify us that you have done the provisioning, and we should start charging money to the end customer. So that notification system, right? Microsoft notifying you and you notifying Microsoft, that is something that has to be implemented. And these are the technicalities that need to be created by you in order to make that happen. So that is something where I will provide some resources for at the end of my presentation here, and obviously your Microsoft representative could help you out with that later on, and hopefully he or she will refer you to our team, because this is what we do. We support from a fast track 5V perspective. We provide support with setting up a landing page, for instance, creating a connection webhook, but also the integration with what we call the fulfillment API or the metering API on the marketplace end. So I'm just gonna go ahead now. Once we have done this, we should create at least one plan. So this works as follows. There is one offer that describes your product, but within your product, you could have several plans. So there's a one-to-many relationship here. And here we could go with as many plans as we want. But for now, I'm just going to go with, I'm just going to call it bronze here. So, you might want to go with the bronze, silver, gold type of SKU planning. In my case, I'm just going to go with the bronze here, and I'll create it. And there is always a little bit of a buggy thing here because of this test environment, probably. So I'm just going to come back to plan listing. Yeah, it still gives me this. It's gonna, if I'm gonna click here, fill this out and come back to plan listing, it's gonna be sorted out. So I'll just do that and keep my fingers crossed that it's actually gonna work. So if we get to the pricing and availability, the first thing I need to do here is to define the markets where I want to sell. So this is really the countries where we want to sell our products. And if I click that one, you can see that there is a whole lot of countries here. The ones with the little sign over here, they define whether the country is Microsoft tax remitted, as we say. So we handle all the taxes there. So in the United Arab Emirates, we do that for you. If you want to sell in Uruguay, then you have to take care of all the tax stuff yourself. So depending on what you want to do, you can select all. You can only select the ones where we do the tax, or you can select, a single country where you feel you want to sell. So up to you what you want to do here, but select at least one so we can sell somewhere. I'm just going to go with UK for now. Good. Then there is an important piece here, which is all about pricing. And in pricing, we have a pretty flexible model. Initially, we can define whether we want to go with either a flat rate or a per user type of model. But if that is not enough, or if you want to go with, you want to bill customers by the number of transactions they do per month or so, we can implement what we call metering dimensions. And these are the so-called custom meter dimensions that we can add here, and we can pretty much do whatever we want there. And this is pretty flexible, but also can get somewhat complex. So for now, I'm going to go with a very easy model. I'm just going to say, well, I'm going to charge the customer $100 per month. And I'm going to give them some discount if they are going to buy per year. So they're going to get 200 discount if they're going to do an annual model. So that's it. What we can do here is select a free trial. So if we feel like we want to give them like a 1 month free trial, so 30 days free trial, then just click this button and they get the first 30 days for free. Then here's another important one, the plan visibility. So typically, or initially, a plan would be public. So that means that it is exposed to the outside world, which is fine, right? That's the reason why we want to go on Marketplace. But sometimes if you have a very special customer and you feel like, well, maybe we want to get some discounted pricing for this particular customer, you rather want to go with private pricing, because sometimes you just don't want those discounted prices to be available on the internet. So in that case, you can go with a private plan. So you're going to click private here, and then you just fill out the tenant ID for that particular customer here, and they would be the only ones to see it. Right, so the rest of the world won't see that specific pricing. Only that particular customer whose tenant ID you got from them is going to see that particular pricing. And there are ISVs who only do private plans, right? They create a specific pricing per customer, and they create a specific plan, therefore, per customer. So that's something that definitely could work. So I'm just going to save it here. And as I promised, I was going to come back to the plan listing, and hopefully it's going to work now. Here we go. So this is nothing more than the name for the plan, and I already named it Bronze, and you can give a description here if you want to. All right, so that's the plan. We're almost there. There is another piece that says CoSell with Microsoft, and this is what you want to do, right? You want to make sure that Microsoft salespeople know about your solution. And therefore, the only thing you need to do initially is to fill out this page here. Typically, you want to go with Microsoft Azure unless you have another solution, but in this case, it's probably Azure. You should define to which segments you're selling. So this is a little bit of Microsoft terminology, but let's say you want to sell to enterprise, you just check this one, and if you sell to the other segments as well, then please go ahead and do that too. Then you got to select a solution type. And in your case, probably it's going to be, most definitely actually, it's going to be intellectual property. So you're going to go with IP here, and that's okay. We need to add a solution area as well. So if we're going to go with Azure, you could say, well, I'm in the HPC business, and you're going to click that one. And you might want to add some more if you feel like it. Then in order to get the so-called CoSell ready status, as you can see it here, you are required to at least get a one-pager in, but also to get a pitch deck. This is probably collateral that you already have. If not, you should create it and upload it here. This will make you CoSell ready and will make your solution available for Microsoft salespeople to see it. So they can help you to sell it, and they might want to include it in the offers that they do to their customers. So that's all for the CoSell with Microsoft. I'm gonna just leave this here. If you want to resell through CSPs, so if you want to work with a reseller, you can select them here. So if you don't want to go with the reseller, go with this one. If you feel like you want to go with every reseller, you go with that one. And if you want to pick a specific one or a number of specific ones, you go with this one. So that should be pretty straightforward. That's about it for all the pages that we had to go through. If I click review and publish here, then I can see what I still need to do. So it's going to show me a number of checks here, like green check marks, hopefully. And since I haven't done everything, my offer is definitely not ready to be published. It's taking its time, so let's see where it's going. Maybe I can come back here. Okay, I'm going to click this one again and see if review and publish is going to work now. Here we go. So as you can see on my screen here, a lot of things are incomplete here. I only completed 2 of these. If you do this well, then everything should be green and you should be good to go. And if you do so, you would see that this little button here, the publish button, is going to be enabled. You can click that one and the publish process will start. And you can track what's going on if you come back to offer overview and you click the little hiding details button here. And it will actually show you the details. It will show you the process that you need to go through. So initially we have automated validation, which is fairly quick normally. Then we've got certification, which takes about a day. We have someone in the marketplace team actually looking at it. Then we've got preview creation, which is fast. Then if you're all happy and all those people that you put in that list of preview people are happy with it, then you get a big button here that would say, well, are we happy with this? You really want to go and publish this to a live stage? And then, if you do so, then that's actually going to happen. And you will end up in the final stage here, which says publish, and will make your offer available on the marketplace. So that's a quick run through of getting your solution up and running here. I'm going to come back to my presentation and we're going to leave you with a number of resources. These decks will be shared, hopefully. Yeah, these documents will give you a good overview of what needs to be done in order to get your solution up and running in the marketplace. If this doesn't work out, you can always try and get into touch with the Fast Track for ISV team. We'd be more than happy to help there. Thank you so much for today, and hope to see you someday in the Fast Track for ISV program. Bye.